Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business edition, followed by Sillyville. I know, we got Sillyville back, guys. We're doing it. Have you read that EULA? It's going to be important by the end of this. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive on in. Mobile networks banned from selling locked phones. For everyone who just got really a sheer joy, this is an EU. So us Americans will still be stuck with our locked phones. But guys, just order unlocked phones. Just buy unlocked phones. You don't need to buy the phone from your carrier. So UK's mobile networks are being forbidden from selling phones. I guess it's UK. My apologies, not EU. UK. They did leave that, right? UK's mobile networks are being forbidden from selling locked phones from their servers starting in December 2021. So they have about 1 year of lead time. And then I think all the phones have to be unlocked after a certain period of time. Now, what I couldn't get from this, and you guys correct us, in many of the US carriers, the phones are locked as long as there's a payment plan on it. Are payment plans popular in UK or are they not? I don't know the answer to that. Here in America, we finance everything. Like, we can't pay our basic bills, but we're paying $15 a month. Now, $30 a month on our new iPhones because, you know, the old iPhone's just the old model. It worked perfectly fine, but no worry about that. It's the old model. So we're just going to fork out money for life for everything we own. They're just trying to get us to that smart city 2030 World Economic Forum, guys. It's 2030, I own nothing and I couldn't be happier. Yeah, that's because you're a moron. All right, guys, own your stuff. All right. But anyway, they are banning as of December 2021, a phone can no longer be sold that is locked to any carrier. My question, though, still remains, is that also apply to phones that are, does that apply to phones that are also still being paid off? Or is that not a thing? Is it just us stupid Americans that are putting payment plans on phones? For the love, people, stop it. That's insane. All right, well, PayPal decides to cut more people off. They cut ties with domain registrar Epic over their digital currency. Is anybody curious about the fact that PayPal in the next month or so is going to start rolling out some options for digital currency? Interesting. They're saying it was because they didn't follow the proper laws and regulations, but Epic is also, quote unquote, known for hosting right-wing social media sites like Gab and BitChute. So they pulled out their ability to do any business with PayPal because PayPal is becoming the Gestapo arm, mostly of Visa, actually. Which is definitely an interesting thing. In fact, Gab's creators of Gab are on the hit list. Somebody from Visa actually follows them around to make sure that nobody that has any affiliation one way whatsoever with Visa at all ever does any business with him. You want to talk about it's time to break up big tech, that would be a good, clear example. And that's why, hey, digital currency's bad. I mean, remember here, guys, here on Switch to Linux, they killed my Facebook account. Why? Fortunately, I never put all my eggs in one basket. All it did is now we've added Stripe, now we've added LibrePay, we've added coin payments. Thanks, PayPal. You've motivated me to increase the giving options, which you can find on switchtolinux.com/support. And I'll be updating some more stuff there soon, I think. But anyway, that's kind of going into a lot of deeply political stuff one way or the other. Bottom line, yeah, PayPal's just kicking people out, probably because they just don't like what they say. But hey, that's par for the course these days, isn't it? I mean, who can possibly let somebody on the platform if they happen to have wrongthink? So, you know. Advisories. Brazen Russian ransomware hackers target hundreds of U.S. hospitals. All right, guys. Right when all the coof is getting to its maximum peak. It's kind of one of the interesting things. Here in State College, of course, our numbers have been going up through the roof simply because the university is requiring 1% testing per day. And when you're mandating 1% testing of a 40,000 student population body, you're going to find a whole lot of completely asymptomatic people with generic coronaviruses. Because that's actually what this test finds. It finds generic coronaviruses. There's a lot of them, not necessarily COVID-19. And these are all these college students, and they're completely asymptomatic. And it's like nobody's having any issues. But meanwhile, our hospital counts are going up, and the hospital's like, oh my God, all these things. we're getting all these cases. Yeah, that's because COVID hit a nursing home, which is what you need to protect the most, okay? I'm completely on board with that. You need to protect the nursing home. But if you look at all the numbers, we actually had a few more deaths. All people over the age of like 65. I think one of them might have been 62. And then everyone else is up in the 80s because now we had a big rash of COVID running through a nursing home where we had 100 nursing home patients in the county end up testing positive for coronavirus. That's bad news. That's the situation that's going to cause a problem. But the huge numbers that they're finding associated with Penn State University has nothing to do with the fact that COVID hit a nursing home, and that's where all the hospitalizations are coming in. I think there's one person that was, that was like 33 in there. But other than that. But while all of these hospitals are dealing with, and by the way, here's another fun statistic. Everyone who locked down the most, they're the ones getting hit with this massive wave. Everyone who didn't lock down a lot isn't really getting anything, which is kind of hilarious. But what's going on here is now all these hackers are targeting hospitals. And fortunately, hospitals in America aren't like the hospital in Germany. It's like, our computers are down. We can't admit anybody. At least here in the United States, we try, like, bring them in. We don't know what to do with them. But there's a doctor around here somewhere who's like 90 who can still take a pulse or something, you know. But you got to be careful, though, with the hackers targeting all the hospitals. And this, guys, is why we need to make sure that even in our hospitals, our schools, our education, even in our personal lives, we have good backup strategies. We can operate offline. We can do things without being 100% dependent on the internet. That's kind of the take-home notice here, particularly for the hospitals. Now, at least the one that attacked the hospital in Germany, that, we meant to attack the university. We'll go ahead and decrypt the hospital one so that nobody else dies, but, you know. It's 2020, guys. Just don't ask questions. I mean, I had to agree with Zuckerberg at one point in time this year. I'm thinking about joining BLM now. I mean, really, guys, what's going on? It's 2020. It's weird. We got to wait for this year to get over with. It's getting crazy. All right, this story filled my heart with joy. Grubhub is hit with a lawsuit for listing restaurants without permission. We, of course, did the local story here. One of the businesses that I walk by frequently. I don't necessarily shop there a lot, but I walk by it. They were at it, and they actually got really mad. I'm not sure if they threatened a lawsuit or whatever else, but they did, I think, get officially delisted. And a couple other businesses in State College here as well have the same situation. But this is a par for the course. This is their business strategy to hunt down different businesses and locations, different restaurants, and simply add them without consulting. They'll put up websites without their permission. They'll put up phone numbers without their permission, and they scrape off all these commissions. And they think that this is amazing. Why aren't you guys in our program? Maybe because you're a bunch of scam artists and we don't want you to be in your stupid program. In fact, there's some people down here who listed the amount of money they make, and they found that with Grubhub, they tended to lose money. So in these examples over here, now these are restaurants who opted intentionally to work with Grubhub. They said, our restaurant owner recently posted a statement from Grubhub showing that out of $1,042.63 in 46 prepaid orders, he received only $376 from Grubhub. In other words, he's only making 36% of his sales. Grubhub is taking the other, 67%, whatever it is, 60-something percent. Grubhub is taking this. This other company, they said $619 in sales was only $464 after the DoorDash fees and things. It was DoorDash a little bit better. But you can see that the reason these companies don't want to work with them is because it costs too much money to do business with them. And so they don't want to. And so then Grubhub comes in and they put up menus. They might do it in cases where they don't deliver, they don't offer takeout, and then it spoils the reputation of the business. So a few of these business owners got together and like, you know what? You're using our business, you're using our likeness, you're imitating us, you're collecting orders on our behalf, and we don't want anything to do with you, and you're not delisting us when we told you not to. And so they're creating a class action lawsuit. Sure, the only one who's going to get rich is going to be the lawyers, for sure, but this is the type of thing, this is the type of abusive business model that if Grubhub has to completely shut down, I would just actually have to throw a party. Guys, don't use Grubhub. Don't use these stupid services. Don't use them at all. They are robbing your businesses. If you want to use them, contact the business directly first, making sure it's not through a Grubhub redirected phone number that they scrape commission off of, and ask them, are you intentionally utilizing Grubhub? Sure, okay, maybe I'll order. But this is the type of thing that makes me angry. These are the types of business abuses that we need to stop. Like everybody involved in the executive level of Grubhub, throw them in jail for a while. Okay, because they are actually hurting the reputation of businesses who have opted not to do business with them. It feels kind of like Upwork again, doesn't it? I don't want to do business with you. Leave me alone. Go figure. Go figure. All right, well, of course, a lot of people abandoned Netflix. A whole lot of people did. They're kind of keeping those numbers quiet, but it's like they lost a lot of subscribers over the cuties, and now they have the Colin Kaepernick crap coming through. You know, how do you make a story about a bad football player who grew up in a rich family and call that oppression? I figure it out. But, you know, Netflix is perpetuating, you know, nasty stuff on its whole premium. I mean, Cuties was tame next to Big Mouth. I mean, and people give their money to this sleazy company. So, of course, with all these guys, they're like, we got to figure out how to make our money back. I got it. Let's jack up the price again. Basic plan will remain at $9 a month. The popular plan is $14. The premium tier is $18. So they're jacking up their prices again. Got to make up for all those subscribers that they lost with pushing their softcore CP. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on. So if you guys are on Netflix, maybe this next price hike and combined with the type of filth they tend to produce might get you to jump ship. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of streaming services, but find a streaming service that's not insane. Really. That's my thought. Let me know your thoughts. And our feature story in business, the new Edge starting at Edge 88. This guy's going to launch so much faster because it's going to start at boot up. That's right, guys. Your Microsoft Edge web browser going to starting up at the boot up sequence. Now, it is an optional feature. So this is, let's see, this is, I guess, market shares of browsers, I guess. I don't know. You know Firefox is doing bad when Edge is beating Firefox, yeah. So now they're like, okay, if Edge takes too long to boot, you can preload it. This really isn't anything super new. Adobe applications do this. Microsoft Office applications have classically done this, where it gives you the option to kind of load in the background on system boot and then deprioritize its resources until it's called. This is really nothing new, but the fact that they want to preload a web browser, which is probably collecting quite a bit of data on the rest of the systems, particularly in these operating systems that are so interconnected to the internet, that's a little bit more turry than Photoshop or Microsoft Word, for example. But for those people that do need to use it and do want it to load faster, we will have that option. Those who don't use Edge and would rather not have it, Startup Boost will be an optional feature that can be enabled and disabled. It's set to arrive in the stable build. I didn't actually see, though, if it's jumping on and enabling itself by default. But knowing Microsoft, it probably will, because they like to enable everything. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this a good thing, a bad thing? Is it an indifferent thing? For you guys using Edge on Windows, it's probably a good thing for you. If you use your web browser a lot, hey, no big deal. Although it might take a little bit slower to load the computer up. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about that. Well, if you need a website and you need some hosting, have a look at A2 Hosting. This is where I host all my clients' websites, tlm.li/A2H. They have free hosting. It's not free. They have hosting plans starting at $3 a month for shared, $5 a month for VPS hosting, and they have a variety of plans in between. This is one of the companies that does offer free SSLs through Let's Encrypt, so don't get yourself screwed on GoDaddy by having to pay an extra $80 for that. You can manually install those. It is a pain, but, you know, I can show you how to do that if you want. But anyway. You can have a look over their services. They're excellent. I've been using them now for a couple of years. Very happy with their service. So tlm.li/A2H. Now, guys, let's head into Sillyville. Well, election season is upon us, guys. Go vote. Please go vote in person. I'm not sure I trust all this mail-in stuff they're doing now. Already too many ballots on both sides of the aisle been, found in ditches and trash cans. But if you've never voted before and you're not quite sure what to expect, this Minecraft server has you set. All right, so a digital effort to meet young people where they are. This Minecraft server is where you can go in and you can vote. Now, I have a big problem with that, and Minecraft is now owned by Microsoft. And of course, pretty soon, you're going to have a Microsoft account to access Minecraft. So does this mean that if you're coming in here and testing how to vote, they might be able to assume what your vote happens to be? I'll be very careful about utilizing this thing, but at the same time, it's definitely an interesting thing. The registration, go vote, you can go into your Minecraft server and cast your ballot. And then maybe in your imaginary world, you can have whoever for president that you can possibly imagine. So interesting thing. And I gotta say, as much as I'm not into Minecraft, this is impressive. I think it's cool. So there you go. Kind of silly, but there you go. Well, if you are looking to get a brand new Motorola Razr, Amazon's going to open the box up and fold it closed for you. That's right. That's right, guys. Amazon is actually going to open up your phone and ship it. They say, we're apologizing for the fingerprints that you might notice on a new phone. We promise it's a new phone. All right. So with foldables, what they're doing is they're packaging it in such a way. Do they have a photo here? So they're packaging it in such a way that you can see, when you open up the package, you can kind of see that it's unfolded and it's like, ooh, that looks kind of cool. And they're like, well, this could damage the phones in shipping. So they're actually opening them all up and folding them closed and repackaging them. I do not want to know what else they're doing with these phones. How long before we get somebody like guys, never leave a camera around my brother. I don't know if my brother's watching today. True story. He'll tell you this publicly too. So if you leave a camera around and my brother sees it, he picks it up and takes a picture of his crotch and puts it back down. And then you go and develop your film or look at it on your SD cards like, is that a crotch? How'd that get there? Yeah, don't leave a camera near my brother, guys. I imagining that these guys might be doing the same thing. Which one of these guys like, I got a few minutes. That's kind of cool. Watch this. Doing other stuff with the phone, leaving it in there, big, messy. So, yeah. So if you're going to be ordering one of these guys, like, number one, I would like to see what Motorola's stance on this is. I would like to see Motorola come out and go, Amazon, don't do that. If it's broken, we'll fix it. But I certainly don't really want the Amazon employees to be opening up my brand new phone and fiddling around with it. I mean, that's insane. But anyway, it's Sillyville. It can be insane. Well, Apple has a new MagSafe for the iPhone 12, but they're warning you to be careful around credit cards. They're warning you about potential excess heat, slow charging. And the one that's very interesting is this, be careful around credit cards. It could destroy your credit cards. Very interesting because they sell a wallet for this thing. So where else do you put your credit cards? I mean, I don't carry credit cards, so I don't have a problem with that, nor do I carry iPhones. But they want you to put the Magcharger in the wallet and then attach that to your phone, but that's probably going to destroy your credit cards. Basically, there's a lot of issues. Oh, also, it will leave a mark on your phone as well. So, yeah, if you keep your phone in a leather case while charging with your MagSafe charger, the case might show circular imprints from the contact. That's interesting. So, yeah, there's definitely some goofy stuff going on. Apple, where's your QA? Did you fire them like Windows? Are we ready for the last story, guys? I saw this and I have to confess, this is one of the very few times that Level 1 Tech got the news article before I did. Very often, I record my news 2 days before they record their news. So any overlap, they're really stealing it all from me. Not really. But they did this article and I was like, okay, this is right down this channel's alley. Because we have to be careful of end user license agreements. So guys, proprietary grapes come with an end user license agreement. The receipt of the produce contained in this package agrees not to propagate, reproduce in any portion of this produce, including but not limited to seeds, stems, tissue, and fruit. Here it is on the package of grapes. So when you go to get your grapes at the grocery store, you might be agreeing to an end user license agreement before buying the grapes. They did EULA to a grape. Company put an end to end use. The company put an end user license agreement on a bag of grapes. The recipient of this produce contained this package agrees not to. Okay, we already read it. Okay, all right. This is a new one. A EULA on fruit. Now I gotta say, guys, I got these very succulent grapes in the grocery store the other day, and I just finished the package yesterday. And when I saw this article, I had to go down and double check my package. And I can confirm to you that the package of grapes I bought from my grocery store did not have an end user license agreement. I'm clear. I don't know if the rest of you are clear, but I'm clear. My grapes do not have an end user license agreement. Okay, I'm clear about that. When you purchase a bag of delicious and sugary Carnival brand grapes, so it's Carnival. Guys, if you see Carnival grapes in your grocery store, see if there's an end user license agreement. You enter an agreement whereby you will consume the grapes and do nothing else with them. That makes me not want to consume them. Kind of warning against reproduction is something we're used to with digital products like video games, but it is jarring to see on the world of commerce, or the world of produce. I'm not going to read the rest of the Vice article. I don't know how you make that much more out of it other than, guys, and usually, we've reached a new world, people. This is a new world. New world. Well, if you'd like to help perpetuate the new world, you can help support me over on Subscribestar, subscribestar.com/switchedtolinux. Jump in over there, any one of the tiers that we have. Head on over there and be careful of those grapes. You are agreeing to an end user license agreement for using them. Thanks for coming along, guys, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.